Hi, this is Donald Leslie, Chartered Surveyor from Amersham in Buckinghamshire with another video about surveying houses. Once again, this is intended for people who are buying a house. It's not a technical video for people who already know about these things. A lot of clients who come to us asking about a survey are worried about subsidence. That's the word that's in their mind. Subsidence is just one type of instability or movement that can affect buildings. But there are different things where you can have a clue as to whether a building may be affected or not, and that's what we're going to look at here. This building here was built, I think, in about 1965, and the left-hand part is original. Everything from the garage onwards is an extension. So we're going to go and have a look inside now at some of the signs why I think this building may have had a bit of subsidence. So one thing that a lot of buyers often notice and come to us saying why they think the building might have subsidence is because they've seen cracks. Now in this case we've got quite a big crack here, goes right across the ceiling. A little bit further along from that crack there's this other big one down here. Okay, so that's the kind of crack that I would look at and think that's not normal. I think there may be a problem here. Of that wall in the extension where there was the big crack in the ceiling and in the wall. And the first thing that you notice when you come around here is this big, it's actually two trees, there's a hawthorn in there and a holly. Very large, close to the original building. And, well, not the original building, the two-storey extension, and then this other extension here. You can also see this joint here. Now what that says to me is that this may have been built as part of when they built this extension, and this may have come along separately. I don't know that to be the case. I don't know of the history of this building, but the crack in the wall is more or less in line with where that, I've measured it on the inside, and it roughly corresponds with that joint there. So now we're getting a picture here. We're surveying this house in a place called Bovingdon, which is in between Chesham and Hemel Hempstead, and the thing that Bovingdon's kind of famous for, apart from there's a prison here, is that it's got a brickworks, and a lot of the land in and around Chesham was famous in years gone by for making bricks, and a lot of land, farmland here, was bought rather as brick fields, and some of them are still here. So there's clay in the ground. The thing about clay is that it shrinks in dry weather and it can become unstable. So if you've got a big tree and you've got clay, we've also got a drain that I know runs under here, but I'm not going to go into that now. There you've got three elements there which make the building more vulnerable to subsidence than it would otherwise be. So when you build an extension like this nice big two-storey extension here, and when you go to the building control people, they will ask you to make sure that the foundations are deep enough to resist the natural forces at work that may make this building vulnerable to subsidence. And my theory that I'm working on at the moment is that this is all okay. This might be okay as well here, although I'm not sure because that crack in the ceiling does run along there, and you can see also there's a little gap up here. But this is definitely not okay. This and the thing behind it, the converted outbuilding, are moving away from the house. There's a crack I haven't referred to here. This one here, it's not that easy to see on the video, but that is a classic sign of subsidence, the way that goes in a diagonal line like that. It's pulling away from the wall, it's going down that way. Okay, so that is a very strong sign of subsidence. This house has been refurbished prior to sale, and so I don't think that if these cracks were historic, as people sometimes say, that they wouldn't have been covered up or filled in. I think the fact that the cracks are plainly in sight when they're selling a house that's being refurbished. We've got all these risk factors. I'm going to be advising this client that they shouldn't proceed without having further investigations undertaken into the foundations under this extension in order to make sure that they don't buy something that is very expensive to repair. That's a little thing about subsidence. It's something that people often mention and are concerned about. It's not the most common defect that you find in buildings, but when it happens, it's serious. And so I hope that that is helpful. My name's Donald Leslie. I'm a residential chartered surveyor in Amersham, Buckinghamshire, England. Have a look at our website, www.donaldleslie.co.uk, and thanks for watching.